Okay, so we haven't done a why the Redskins are garbage video in a minute, so I thought I'd go ahead and do one. And so, what to talk about? Okay, so Ron Rivera has come in, and um, it appears as though so far that Dan Snyder has given Ron Rivera pretty full sway in the decision making process for running the team. Doug Williams has been demoted. Allen's been fired. Eric Schaefer's been fired. Um, he promoted Kyle Smith and got rid of a couple of other people. And he just signed a player from the Carolina Panthers, a linebacker, undrafted free agent out of Utah. I cannot remember his exact name, Jared something, but looks like a decent guy. I want to just remind anybody who's listening that when I do these videos, when the Redskins do something that's great or good, I will say so. So I like some of the things that Rivera has done so far. I think that releasing Josh Norman absolutely had to happen. The guy was a total dirtbag. Needed to go. Should have never signed him in the first place. Total mistake. Wasted money. Horrible player. I don't know what kind of person he is, but he obviously doesn't have a great work ethic. I think he has questionable character. I'm very happy with what he said, that it was their decision, not mine. Great. I'm glad that you're gone and you wanted to stay. I am happy that your sorry butt is gone and you wanted to stay. I'm happy about that. Josh Norman, good riddance to you, with all capital letters. The other thing is this may be controversial, but I don't care about the hiring of the female assistant. I actually would not have done it because it's not about hiring a female or not hiring a female. It's about why it's being done. It's political correctness. And I just feel like this team, it's all they have done. The only thing this team does, the front office, all they do is they worry about appearances. And I can't say I disagree with the hire. I just wouldn't have done it at this time. I think that this is something that they could have waited to do, like maybe 2 or 3 years from now. So I think that what the Redskins need to do is get this organization, this team back on track, and then have somebody like that come on to the staff. It just seems to me like it's the same old Redskins trying to figure out ways to be politically correct. And I just think they need to quit worrying about that. But, it's supposedly Ron Rivera's decision. I believe that it is. I believe Dan Snyder had no input in it, which is great. Any hire that Ron Rivera makes, I think, is wonderful as long as Snyder had nothing to do with it. And I hope she does a great job. I hope that she gets promoted. I just do not like the timing of it. And I do believe that Ron Rivera has done this to be politically correct. I believe he did it to be politically correct when he was in Carolina. So this is the one thing that I would criticize him for, is that I just don't think that's the right timing. I think that they should have waited. Also, nobody knows what Greg Olson's going to do, but I honestly think that they need him. I think they need to sign him. I also think that there's a tight end from the Falcons, a guy who's looking for a new contract right now. But unfortunately, this moment, I cannot remember his name, but he is up for free agency. I think they should sign him. And there's another tight end that I saw from the Los Angeles Chargers that is up for free agency. You can Google. I haven't looked those names up in quite a few days, so I don't remember either of their names. It doesn't really matter. But the other article I recently saw was that apparently Joe Gibbs had a lot to do with getting Ron Rivera hired to the Redskins. I think that's pretty cool. It's always nice to have Joe help out in any way he can, and it's comforting to know that he still cares about the team and that he is a big part of the reason why Ron Rivera is the coach of this team. Because Joe Gibbs being such a person of high character, you know that Ron Rivera is also a man of high character because Joe Gibbs wanted him to be the coach of this team. So, I also think that there's been a lot of no news. The only real news that I've seen over the course of the last few weeks is just that, Alex Smith is making progress towards returning to the point that I've seen like forecasted depth charts for the team in September or August, September show Alex Smith as one of the quarterbacks on the active roster. I think if he could complete his comeback, that'd be great. I think that if he's healthy, he should beat out Dwayne Haskins for the starting job. And I'll reiterate, I don't think that Dwayne Haskins is the future for the Redskins at quarterback. And I'll also say this. My criticism of the timing of the hiring of the female assistant coach has got nothing to do with the color of her skin. Just go ahead and put that away right now. Okay? Anybody who's listening to this video who's going to sit there and say that the reason why I'm criticizing the timing of this female assistant is because she's black. You know what? Don't listen to my videos. That's not why we're here. We are not here to play politics and drum up race about everything. Okay. They can have as many African American coaches as they want, or as many Asians and Hispanic. Where are the Asian and Hispanic players in the NFL? If you want to sit there and try to criticize me by saying something about the fact that she's black is why I'm criticizing the timing of the hire, I'll ask you this question. Where are all the Hispanic and Asian players in the NFL? Okay? That's what I'm going to ask you back. Stop bringing up race about everything. When you do that, it divides us. Stop bringing race into everything. And this just popped into my head as I was about to close this up. I don't want to make a big deal out of it. I don't want to make a big deal out of it at all. But where are all the Hispanic and Asian players in the NFL? So, believe me, of all the races of people in this country who can complain about racial indifference or racial inequality, let me tell you something. The African American is not the person. Okay? African American is well represented in the NFL. And I would even call on African American people who've listening to this message. I would even call on y'all, the ones who realize this, and continue to fight for African American representation in the NFL. But start to fight for other racial groups who aren't represented in the NFL. And believe me, Hispanic and Asians are not represented at all. So, with that concludes this episode of Why the Redskins Are Garbage, because they are. And let me tell you this. No Redskins fan is going to care too long about any of the good moves the Redskins have made until the product on the field gets drastically better. Snyder's hired good coaches before. Mike Shanahan, Joe Gibbs, and what happened with them? Gibbs kept Serrato around because Snyder wanted him and Gibbs didn't know any better. Kyle Shanahan came along and Snyder and Allen did nothing but mess with them. Wouldn't let them choose what quarterback they were going to be working with. So until this team starts to win games, I'm telling you this. If this team is 3-3 after week 6 of the 2020 season, start getting ready for the booze. Okay? So, with that, I'm done.